What is the best "your mama is so fat" joke you've ever heard? Your mama's so fat that during a full moon, she turns into a warehouse. A warehouse! Good morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as Sunny Side Up Gal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Good morning, good morrow, and good day. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please consider giving me a subscribe and go ahead and like the video because me know you're gonna like it. If it's giving you the option to hype it, hype it. If you are not new here and you're a returning subscriber, I really appreciate you coming back every week to check in on my shenanigans and my trash talking.
Trash.
I really appreciate you. What are we doing today, you guys? Today we are, first of all, my hair is so shiny right now and it's bugging me. My hair is really shiny right now, you guys. I showered this morning. Unusual of me. Just kidding. But I started using this is so crazy. I started using baby shampoo. I don't know what they put in baby shampoo to make your hair so shiny. But the reason why I feel like, Robin, you're not a baby, why are you using baby shampoo? Because there's not a lot of junk in baby shampoo. I'm like, if it's safe for a baby, it's probably safe for me because I'm on a hair growth journey. So whatever, we'll see if anything bad happens. If my hair starts falling out, I'll let you guys know. But so far, it's just making it extremely shiny, especially in the bangs. I don't know, I get so insecure about having shiny bangs. But I guess some people like that. Anyway, today we are going to be exploring the subreddit FatLogic, and it's going to be a FatLogic Friday. If you are unfamiliar with what FatLogic is, or even Reddit, do you guys not know what Reddit is? Is there anybody out there who's like, I don't know what Reddit is? But anyway, Reddit is like a sort of a social media. It's like forums. It's like a collection of forums where people can ask questions and chat and, look up some things. And there's a subreddit on there called FatLogic where a bunch of people find funny or just interesting or annoying or enraging things that people of the fat acceptance community or just fats in general like to post on the internet. Is it a bullying subreddit? I wouldn't say so. It's more of just like, hey, look at what I found that relates to fat acceptance that is stupid. Let's chat about it. And then people chat about it. So they do have a definition of what fat logic is, and fat logic is anything that deviates from the scientific facts of body weight management. This can range from fundamental misunderstandings of how biology and physics work to lengthy political diatribes about how everything is society's fault. Falling victim to fat logic means accepting misinformation that will harm efforts to keep your body at a healthy weight or lose weight if you need to do so. So anyway, we are going to explore the subreddit. We are going to chit, we're going to chat, we're going to talk a lot of trash about some of these findings. And let's discuss in the comments below. Let's discuss in the comments below our opinions and our thoughts and our solutions. But I love doing fat logic, and apparently you guys also like doing fat logic. But anyway, let's continue. Let's go. Let's get into it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I have it set to new, and we are going to just go through. Ooh. Anyway, we're gonna just go through and explore and just chit and chat. Okay? All right. So class 2 obesity is skinny. I'm 220-ish pounds and still seen as skinny at 5'6". Besides, I'm certainly much happier now than I was when I was 160 pounds. Definitely get some professional help with this OP. There's a way to be healthy and happy, and a lot of it is from learning how to enforce boundaries and find the right social circles. I do believe, especially in the United States, that fat blindness is a thing. I think we are so used to seeing extra large people that we would look at somebody who's just like, even right now, I was just gonna say barely over 220 pounds, but I don't think that any adult woman is considered healthy over 200 pounds. Like, I don't think any adult should be over 200 pounds unless you're like a body builder or extremely tall. 5'6" is not extremely tall. 5'4" is the average. So, I mean, times two, I mean, add 2 inches. It's not, that's heavy. That's heavy. My largest that I was 232 pounds. And then after that was in high school. And then after the panorama, I was like 220, 222. Let's take a look at this person's BMI. All right. So their weight, Imperial. Their weight was 220 at 66 inches. All right. So, oh, oh shit. Typed in 2 tons. Or I typed in a ton. 2,200 pounds. Your BMI is 355. Okay, no. So they're 220. BMI of 35. So anyway, so they have a BMI of 35. That's not good. um And why would we say that having an excess amount of body fat on your body is not good, you guys? Is it because having excess adipose tissue is hormonally active, so you're gonna fuck up your hormones? Also, visceral fat is the most dangerous type of fat. It causes a multitude of issues. Again, the hormonal thing is my biggest, yikes. But let's go ahead and read off together the issues of being obese. So increased depression. Obesity can affect a person's mental health. This includes higher risk of depression, sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea. So having excess body fat around your neck can make it so that you practically stop breathing in your sleep. Liver disease. Excess fat can build up around the person's liver, and this can cause damage and can even lead to liver failure. Dude, one time I could have dreamt this, but I want to say, I swear, I saw somewhere in the fat acceptance realm, maybe you guys remember it or something like that, but I saw somewhere that like some fat was talking about how fat is protective, and it technically is. I mean, like, let's think about medieval times. If you were a super fat person and you were like fighting in a battle, like having excess fat on your like body can help protect arteries and stuff like that. Somebody had said that about like why it was a benefit to being fat, and they were talking about like if somebody had to come across and tried to like slit their throat or something like that, that it would protect them. And it's like that's like a 1 in 1 million chance that somebody's gonna just run across the street and then slice me and dice me. I would rather be in a leaner body. Thank you. I will say though, I have a family member who got the gastric sleeve, I think, and their doctor told them that their liver was so fatty that they accidentally dropped the scalpel on their liver, and it was so fatty that it like protected their liver. Isn't that crazy? So I guess it is protective. I guess I am a member of the fat acceptance community. Kidney failure, other complications from obesity like diabetes, high blood pressure, and can lead to chronic kidney disease. You guys, I saw yesterday that the number one, and I think it's just because it's so prevalent, it could totally be a correlation thing, but the number one predecessor to like multiple types of cancer. Well, first of all, if you are in an obese body, you run the risk of getting 13 different types of cancer, and they make up 40% of the cancers in the United States that people get. But anyway, if you have type 2 diabetes, that runs your risk of getting most cancers as well as Alzheimer's. But I did see something about, so on this is just a slight example, but type 2 diabetes is correlated or related to being obese. So like most of the 1 in 8 Americans has type 2 diabetes, and 1 in 3 are pre-diabetic. That's fucking crazy, you guys. That's crazy. But anyway, this journal is going to talk about diabetes and pancreatic cancer. I'm not going to read the entire thing. I just wanted to read this one part. Type 2 diabetes is likely the third modifiable risk factor for pancreatic cancer after cigarette smoking and obesity. So obesity and pancreatic cancer, but modifiable means I believe it means that like it's like a preventative thing. So like you don't have to smoke cigarettes, you don't have to be obese, you don't have to get type 2 diabetes. The whole reason why I was bringing up kidney failure is that type 2 diabetes is so crazy because I mean excess glucose in your body can affect like multiple issues. Like it causes rapid aging. It can, it can cause kidney failure. It can cause blindness, neuropathy. It can cause a multitude of things. Okay, cause it, not even like be caused. You know, it causes that shit. Skin fold rashes, joint pain, risk of stroke. Obesity can lead to high blood pressure, which is the leading cause of stroke. My blood pressure has been excellent, actually, since I never really had high blood pressure. Like, honest to goodness, not, I mean, you know, thank heavens, because that would have been another thing to add to my issues. But I never had high blood pressure. It's always just been high blood sugar and high A1C. But a great way to lower your blood pressure is by I don't really know how to lower my blood pressure, you guys, because it's never been an issue. I would say losing weight and quitting things like smoking. And I guess if you eat a lot of salt, you can reduce your salt. But I'm a ketogenic. I'm a ketogenic girly, and I drink a salty drink every day, and my blood sugar's not high at all. It was like, I just checked it at the doctor last week, or actually on Tuesday for my biopsy, and it was 107/79 or something like that. Increased risk of heart attack. High blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar can harden arteries and put a person at a greater risk of heart attack. GERD. Obesity is associated with higher risk of GERD. So that's kind of like, I think, when you get a lot of acid reflux. Oh yeah, it says on here reflux disease. I used to have that, but I don't anymore because, you guys, I had to stop drinking coffee. Obesity can cause deterioration of muscle mass and bone density. This can increase a person's risk of disability and bone fractures. So I have noticed this. So like there are people who start out like, there's a threshold. So there's people who are in obese bodies, but they're like strong still. And then once they reach a point past, like, I don't know, 330 pounds or something like that, they just get weaker and weaker and weaker, because it takes a lot of energy to like move all that mass, you guys. It really does. And I mean, you're not getting fat from walking around. You're getting fat from sitting down often. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see that. Infertility, I am one of the people who have suffered infertility issues with being in an obese body. I do have PCOS and Hashimoto's, which are also related to infertility. However, I do blame my obesity on the fact that I got precancerous lesions inside my uterus. And if I ever decided to have kids, which I don't know if it's still on the table, I'm 35 now, and the idea of like planning kids is kind of scary. Like, I want all my ducks in a row before I, like, if I'm gonna plan, like, get IVF or whatever we have to do. I know I have to be on fertility medication when I do decide to get pregnant, if I do. The planning is weird to me. I don't know. I always wanted, like, if I did have a kid, I would want it to be like a surprise. And if I'm gonna plan to build a family, like, I would rather just like, if I can't have a baby, if I really, really wanted a kid, there are so many kids in the system that would probably love 3 hots and a cot. You know what I mean? So I'm good. But anyway, yeah, obesity led to me losing a large portion of my fertility. And my husband and I have been together for 15 years, so that should say something. You'd think that we would have had a kid by now. Obesity is associated with a higher risk of developing certain cancers. Again, it's 13 different types of cancers, and those cancers make up 40% of all the cancers in the United States that are, I guess, popular? Not popular. You know what I mean. Yet another person claiming to have eaten under 1,000 schmalaries while exercising, but somehow still hasn't lost weight. I don't know about you guys, but I used to weigh 120 kilograms, which is like 330 pounds. And then I stopped eating so much and went for a walk twice a week. And now I'm 80 kg. Took me 4 months. I have PCOS. I once cut out all carbs and and sugars, ate under 1,000 calories a day, and did extensive exercise for months. And the only thing I lost was joy in living. Listen, you guys, I know you might not believe it, but cutting calories is difficult when you have PCOS. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you do have to like reduce your calories to a ridiculous amount. I don't believe that this person, they probably did it for like a day, ate under 1,000 calories a day, and did extensive exercise for months, and you didn't lose any weight. Like, if you didn't lose any weight cutting 1,000 calories, then all you were eating was probably just bread. Like, were you Aladdin? Did you only eat bread? But I will say that for anybody, especially if you're an adult, cutting your schmalaries to under 1,000 is almost guaranteed way to lose weight. I don't recommend it. because it's not healthy. Like, that's crazy. You probably even still, even so, there's such a thing as there's such a thing called starvation ketosis, and reducing your calories to a low amount, and then on top of that, if you were to reduce your carbohydrates, you would go into like a starvation ketosis, and that's basically like I, we don't recommend it. We don't recommend it. Yeah, I just under 1,000 calories is nuts, and I just don't believe it. Like, what were you just eating under 1,000 calories, but you were still having like 500 calories in drinks? Like, were you having a 500 calorie Starbucks? You know, some people don't realize what. Some people don't count their drinks, which is banana bonkers. I mean, if you're eating sugar free, I guess, but like they don't count their drinks, they don't count their sauces. They could have been eating out a ton and just guessing. Like, this is why when you lock in, like especially when I'm locking in, I don't eat out. We're not eating out. I told Mike, I was like, we're not eating out until September. And if we are eating out, it's going to be like the fresh kitchen and that's it. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I don't trust anybody to make my food anymore. But yeah, me not believe. Me not believe. What do you guys think? Do you think that they really did eat under 1,000 calories? I mean, I do want to say, like, I do want to. I mean, I have PCOS, and I had if I'm not paying attention to my if I'm not paying attention to my macros, like, it is difficult for me to lose the weight, even if it is difficult for me to lose the weight if I'm not paying attention to my carb intake, because uh, one, like, I mean, I can reduce my calories, but I'll still be hungry, right? That's difficult to what's the word I'm looking for? It's difficult to sustain. It's not sustainable. The other thing too is that, like, not in my, this could just be my opinion, or maybe it is a fact, but I don't believe that every calorie is created equal. So, like, energy from calories from a lot of carbohydrates, if you're in a sedentary body, those have a higher potential to storage than like energy from fat or from protein. And I think that's why it was also difficult for me to lose weight when I was not paying attention to my macros. Macros are important, you guys. It's not just calories. Just like the BMI is, and just like it's not just the BMI, there's other things that need to be measured to ensure that you're healthy. But calories, I mean, again though, like, I'm not gonna just didn't blatantly be like, no, yeah, 1,000 calories. I'm not gonna say that calories in, calories out doesn't exist. Like, that obviously does exist, but it is difficult when you have PCOS. That's why I say, if you have PCOS, like, you really need to look into and do some research on like low carb, because it makes it so much easier. It really does, you guys. I am never hungry. Like, and I have PCOS because my insulin levels are stabilized. Like, it's just, there's a lot of things that go into it. I am a little I am getting tired of people using PCOS as an excuse to just stay fat, because what helps, it sucks, you guys. It's a what do they call, like, those lizards that eat their own tails? It's one of those things. It's like, it's PCOS causes weight gain, but the treatment for PCOS is weight loss, but it can help you gain weight. Like, it's just so difficult. But again, you just have to do the research. PCOS causes insulin resistance, and insulin is a fat storing hormone. So if you are insulin resistant, eat less carbs. Oh, they said that they cut out all carbs and sugars. Yeah, I don't believe that. If you cut out all carbs and sugars and ate under 1,000 schmalaries a day. No, you didn't. All right, the GLP-1 shaming is so bad to start, but at no point will you be able to predict where this OOP is going to go next. Ooh. Oh. Okay, not everyone who loses 1,000 pounds, not everyone who loses 100 pounds is on Ozempic. And even if they are, it's shitty to assume fat people took the lazy way out of fatness, insinuating that we as fat people are so innately lazy that we can't lose weight the old-fashioned way. You are insinuating that's why we got fat in the first place. Yeah, that is a little shamey, because I wouldn't say that Ozempic is the lazy way out. I do want to say that a lot of people do choose Ozempic because it is the easy way. It does make things easier. Like, let's be logical, right? Fat logic. Ozempic helps, Ozempic, you can take a shot, it automatically shuts off, well, not for everybody, but it shuts off, the food noise for people. People are able to do things that many people, even including myself, have believed was impossible, which is fight hunger. I'm not saying that losing weight is easy. I'm not saying that there's still not any work that needs to be done with Ozempic. Like, obviously, I know there are people in my I know there are some of you who are on Ozempic and you are on like your maintenance dosage, and I know that like you still people who are responsible on Ozempic have to track their food and do all the work still. But I mean, it is a tool to make things easier. Tools make things easier. Okay. I wouldn't call it the lazy way out though, but I will say there are people who are using it as like a lazy way. There are people who do it and expect it to be like this magic pill, when in reality they're probably on a dose that's too high and they're causing damage to their body that they don't realize is there yet. So like if you're on a dose that's too high, it's going to cause like days without food. Like you're going to not be hungry for a long time. I also think it's a little bit like, whose side are you on, person who wrote this? Whose side are you on? You lost 100+ pounds. You're upset you're upset that people are assuming you're on Ozempic, which, to be honest with you guys, I have been accused of using Ozempic, and I will say, this was a while ago, I will say that it's kind of a compliment. Like, people think that you lost, like an exorbitant, not exorbitant for me, but like people think that you're losing weight and they automatically think that you're on Ozempic just because it's so popular. So it's like, okay, I'm visibly losing weight. They think that I'm on Ozempic. Like, okay, you know what I mean? That happened when I disappeared from my Instagram for a while, and then I showed up in a story and people were like, "Oh my God, are you on Ozempic?" Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "No, bitch. Keto." Also, someone who's 300 pounds may be a gym rat and might have already lost 100 pounds. So maybe consider the fact, that some fat people are in better shape than 90% of the people reading this. We run marathons too as a group. Lord knows these knees laugh at the idea of running. Okay, so even if you are in the gym constantly working out, and you're still 300 pounds with excess adipose fat, not healthy. Not healthy. Yeah, sure, cool. You are building muscles burning, calories for you while you're at rest, right? But you're still like excess body fat is never going to be better than a lean body. I said it. Okay, I said it. Excess body fat on the body to the point where you are, let's say, oh, this is type 3 obese or whatever, class 3, excess body fat on the body to the point where you are obese, and like you have done a DEXA scan and that's not 300 pounds of muscle, there is a lot of body fat. It's not going to be better than like a leaner body. Like, it's just not. We run marathons too as a group. Lord knows these knees laugh at the idea of running. I mean, I've never run across a marathon or seen a marathon where I've seen obese people running. Like, if anything, they're walking or they're like lightly jogging. Um, I I live close to Walt Disney World, and they do like marathons or like 5Ks or whatever. A lot of people are fat because Disney makes you fat. They're not running. They are not running, you guys. They are walking. And it's a walk around the park. Like, you just do that anyway. I don't know. And while I'm at it, fat jokes literally harm fat people. There's a ton of nuance to it, but essentially medical care is affected and people die because of stereotypes, perpetuating it by making fat the punchline. Are they saying that fat jokes cause medical fat bias? I need an example. And while I'm at it, fat jokes literally harm fat people. First of all, I haven't even heard a fat joke. It's more situational, right? When's the last time you guys heard a good fat joke? The only thing the top of my head I can think right now is like your mama jokes. Like, your mama's so fat, she's got her own orbit or something like that. Your mama's so fat, she uses the equator as a belt. Your mama's so fat, her your mama's so fat. Now I need to read your mama fat jokes. What is the best "Yo mama is so fat" joke you've ever heard? Yo mama is so fat, when she went to school, she sat next to everybody. Her belly button gets home 10 minutes before the rest of her. Your mama's so fat that during a full moon, she turns into a warehouse. A warehouse! Your mama's so fat she has to carry dollar bills in one pocket and pesos in the other. That's my favorite one. Your mama's so fat she went dancing in heels and came back in flip-flops. Your mama's so fat she gets up on both sides of the bed. I always love she got triabetes. Triabetes is good. Your mama's so fat she walked past the TV. She missed 3 episodes. She stepped onto the street and 3 cars ran out of gas trying to swerve around her. Your mama's so fat when she goes to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, she wears ropes. Oh, that was not good. After sex, she smokes turkey. Your mama's so fat. Thanos had to snap twice. The one from French Prince, your daddy is so fat. When he went to school, he sat next to everybody, but still, he wasn't as fat as your mama. That is so good. She fell in love and broke it. Your mama's so fat, her blood type is gravy. I like the blood type ones, or like the triabetes one was good, but so far my favorite was the pesos. Your mama's so fat she has to wear dollars in one pocket and pesos in the other. Like, let me write that down. Your mama's so fat when she went to the beach, Greenpeace pushed her back in the water. Okay. One more. Your mama's so fat there are 3 small mamas orbiting around her. Ooh, I like that one. Okay. Anyway, can you see how those fat mama jokes are harmful to fat people and how they can attribute to medical weight bias? Okay, even Trump, and especially even, there are about 143,507 other things that we can criticize about him that don't remind 132,000 people of how funny society thinks it is that fat people break flimsy chairs or get hurt from the fall. I had to fight so hard not to make a fat joke about him here. I get the lure. Okay, so we're defending Trump again, which is so bizarre. Like, I honestly think it's okay for us to make fun of people's, like, I personally, making fun of something that's like kind of like apparent is not a great way to troll somebody. Like, they know they're fat. However, we know that DT likes to believe that he's not obese, and I think that his weight like when people talk about his weight, it kind of would get to him. So I think that that's pretty fair game to make fun of somebody's weight. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Ways you can be obese and despite a healthy lifestyle. Let's debunk genetics and hunger hormones. Okay, so genetics load the gun, they don't pull the trigger. Hunger hormones do not like create fat cells. They don't, your hunger hormones lead you to eat food. They don't magically just create fat. So if you have hunger, you can control that hunger, or you can eat proper foods. It's the food that's going to make you fat. Insulin resistance, independent of diet, can help cause obesity. But again, the food that you choose to eat when you have insulin resistance is a choice, right? Insulin resistance causes carb craving because your body is so full of insulin that it's trying to make you eat it. Your body's so full of insulin, and insulin is like attracted to sugar, so it's trying to make you eat more sugar so that it can help push sugar into, and sugar's carbs basically, so like bread or whatever, it should push sugar into the muscles or blood cells. Let me look it up just in case though. Okay, insulin resistance can absolutely make you hungry all the time. This constant hunger, medically known as polyphagia, occurs because your cells aren't effectively absorbing energy from the food you eat. Insulin resistance causes carb cravings primarily because your body cells cannot efficiently absorb and use glucose for energy, even though plenty is circulating through your blood. To compensate, your body demands quick fix carbohydrates to get that immediate energy boost. So when you are insulin resistant, very, very common to crave sugar, candy, like all of the sweet things, which again, you'll just keep gaining in weight. You'll just keep gaining and gaining and gaining. Insulin resistance also causes appetite hormone disruption. Constantly high insulin interferes with the hormones like ghrelin and leptin that tell your brain that you are full, making you feel hungry shortly after eating. What is a great way to combat hunger from insulin resistance? Eating plenty of protein and fat. So reducing your carbohydrates and replacing that energy source with fat, and making sure that you're eating an adequate amount of protein and fat to make yourself feel full. Fat makes you full. Why does fat make you full? Dietary fat promotes fullness primarily by slowing down digestive processes because it is a complex energy dense nutrient. It takes your body longer to break down. This delay keeps food in your stomach longer and triggers the release of satiety hormones to signal your brain to stop eating. There you go. PCOS. Again, I have PCOS. I don't I just don't think that it's a good excuse to be. I don't think there's any good excuse to be obese unless you are are like the 2% of the people in the world who have no like what's the word I'm looking for? Like you have no bodily like control. So again, that's just like people with Willy Prater or Prater Willy. Um and maybe like if you're in a vegetative state and your family is just overfeeding you, I guess. I don't know. I mean, for anybody who has control over their body, don't think it's acceptable to be in an obese body. But if you are obese and you have PCOS, hypothyroidism, or Hashimoto's, it's because you are eating foods that don't suit your metabolism, they don't suit your body. You have to adjust. There's not one particular diet for everybody. You are probably eating like shit. Cushing syndrome, this is a hormonal thing. I know it makes it difficult for and the way that your body it makes it difficult for you to lose weight as well. I don't really know too much about Cushing syndrome. I do know that I've seen some people that have Cushing syndromes that aren't obese, but their body still stores fat in a way that's not like normal, I guess. Lipedema, fat that won't respond to diet. It doesn't respond to diet, but it does respond to inflammation. So I will say that if you have lipedema and you are, Tess Holiday size or like Anna O'Brien, I have a feeling it's probably due to the fact that you're eating inflammatory food. So a lot of ultra processed food, and they have been shown to be inflammatory. Ultra fried foods, maybe chips and candy and all that jazz. There are people out there that have lipedema who still have like the deposits and everything like that, but they're not obese. That they do exist, and it's because they probably had to adjust their diet and their lifestyle and make sure that they're not eating like a dickhead. Medications, antidepressants, antipsychotics, and steroids, again, these are foods that make you hungrier. They don't automatically like cause weight gain. So you can't just get on a antidepressant and expect to gain 50 pounds. That would mean that anybody who's on an antidepressant should be 50 pounds heavier than when they started. And we know that that's not the case. Like there are so many people who are on antidepressants that never gain a pound. It just makes you hungrier, and you just have to choose the right foods. It boils down to foods, you guys. It all boils down to the food. It literally does. Postpartum hormonal shifts. I mean, I can go through the list, but it is literally mostly the food. Menopause, perimenopause, again, makes you hungrier, makes you crave specific foods that are probably not good for your metabolism. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol. Again, I mean, why does cortisol cause weight gain? All right, so why does it cause weight? Let's read this really quick. Cortisol dysregulation can contribute to belly fat, but it's not the cause of abdominal weight gain. Online, blah, 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 blah. Yes, ongoing stress can lead to cortisol dysregulation, which can then influence weight, but the process isn't a direct cause and effect. So excess cortisol in the body doesn't magically create fat in your body. Sleep quality and quantity, appetite signals, and metabolic processes, including how your body manages glucose, blood sugar, and insulin, all play a role. So it can help lead to insulin resistance, and it boosts craving. So like there are a lot of people out there who are stress eaters. Again, it's boiling down to food. Excess elevated cortisol and chronic stress increases hunger and increases your desire to eat high carb foods. It's about the food, you guys. If you reached for a steak, which that's an expensive food, but if you reached for meat versus a loaf of bread when you're stressed out, you probably would do a little bit better as far as like gaining weight. Trauma altered metabolism. I don't know much about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Sleep deprivation, again, that kind of like goes with the stress thing. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea can be caused by weight gain and being obese. Ways you can be obese despite a healthy lifestyle. Sleep apnea. Yeah. Okay. So sleep apnea can cause like a lack of sleep. So I can understand that. But again, you're choosing to eat the shitty food. It's all about the shitty food, you guys. Autoimmune disease. Food. Food. if you have autoimmune diseases and you're eating foods that inflame you and causes you to get fat because, I mean, for example, I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune disease. So if I eat something that is like inflammatory or causes an autoimmune response, that's going to slow down my metabolism because my body is attacking my fucking thyroid, and then my weight loss stalls. Chronic inflammation, again, it's food. What's causing the chronic inflammation? Whatever you're eating. Long-term calorie restriction causes obesity. Can we tell that to the starving people in Africa? They're all obese. They've got to be. Yo-yo dieting damage. I never really understood that. I don't think, I've never blamed the fact that I'm still fat in my 30s because I yo-yo dieted in my 20s. I don't think I can understand how extreme yo-yo dieting can maybe affect your metabolism, but again, we are so adaptive, I want to say. Humans do a pretty great job at healing, I guess, most of the time. So I can see somebody bouncing back from extreme yo-yo dieting if they are choosing the right foods for their body. And you just have to experiment. You have to try new things. I'm not, again, I've always said this, I'm not trying to sell the ketogenic diet or anything like that, but like this was the last diet that I tried and I've been on it for over almost 8 years. Over 8 years.
I've been on a ketogenic diet on and off for 8 years. I fell off the wagon after the panorama and then found it again in 2022. I maintained a 40-pound weight loss for like 2 years and then started trying to lose more weight at the end of 2025. Even if I don't lose another pound, keto is the diet that reversed my insulin resistance. It's the diet that I'm never hungry on, and it's how I feel my best.
But it's because it feels sustainable to me. It's filling, which was my biggest thing, is I am a volume eater and I love to feel full. So that was the other important thing. It's indulgent, which mommy is indulgent. It's an indulgent diet because there's a lot of fat, and it's effective. Like I am not actively putting on poundage because when I have a lot of carbohydrates, I was insulin resistant for so long, and I still have PCOS, which causes, insulin regulation issues, I guess, still, regardless. Even if I am insulin resistant on paper, PCOS can still cause, easy fat storage from carbohydrates. But you have to find the diet that suits you. I'm not saying go on a diet. Find a way of eating that is sustainable for you, that at the very least, will help you stop gaining weight. And then again, people are just eating way too much. Schmaleries exist. Gut microbiome differences. That makes sense. Leaky gut is a thing. Insulin spiking meds, yes. Disability limiting movement, yes. But again, if you have a disability that's limiting movement, and it's making you not be able to burn as many schmaleries in a day, then you have to eat less schmaleries so that it balances, right? If I'm disabled to the point where I'm only burning 12,000 or 1,200 calories a day, why would I eat 2,000 calories a day? That's going to be guaranteed gain weight. And that's an extreme. Like if your body is if you're so immobilized that you're not burning anything, that's crazy. That's an extreme. Those are extreme numbers. Those are just numbers I pull out of my butt, you guys. I don't know if that's possible for somebody to just sit and only burn 12,000 or 1,200 calories. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Endocrine disruptors, yeah, okay. Food insecurity in childhood. Food insecurity in childhood causes obesity now. Okay, so it sounds like you're just eating more. Again, it's food. ADHD affecting eating patterns. You're eating shitty food. Malabsorption of nutrients. Malabsorption of nutrients.
So why are you eating more?
You're eating too much. Post-viral and long COVID effects. You're eating fat food. You're eating food that makes you fat. Age-related muscle loss. Why are you losing muscle? Why aren't you eating protein? You're eating too much carbs. Higher set point regardless of lifestyle. Set point is just a theory. You are eating too much and you're eating too fat. Too much, and you're fat. You're not working out enough. All right, I wonder if this person has even seen the movie. No way, the radio host just called The Whale a beautiful teaching tool for empathy and humanity. Fat folks need to be hunted for sport. Jesus, God. You guys, I swear to God, it's so inhumane. Like they always claim that like people are treating fat people like absolute garbage, inhumanely, and then they go onto the internet and say shit like this, like,
People need to be hunted for sport.
That's insane. Anyway, the crazy thing is I also doubt that they've ever seen the whale. The fact that they're saying right here, the most disgusting fat phobic piece of trash in recent memory. The fucking title alone. They've never seen it if they think that that's if it's called the whale for the guy. The reason why it's called the whale is because his daughter's poem was about a whale. I'll double check that though. Okay, yes, it's called the whale because Charlie is huge, but he's got an obsession with Moby Dick and his daughter's essay. It wasn't a poem. His essay is about Moby Dick as well. If you haven't seen it, her essay is like gold to him, very precious. Charlie is kind of like Moby Dick himself. He is massive and white. He's he's also something people can't help but stare at, and he's the target of resentment to those he's close to. But it was a beautiful movie. I cried, and I think that Brendan Fraser did a great job. His acting was intense and believable. And are they just gel that they didn't get an actual fatty to be on set for 12 to 15 hours a day? They weren't able to find a 600-pound man to act safely. People forget that like it's not there wasn't in no way was this movie intended to be any kind of fat phobic, you know, propaganda and to draw in hatred towards fat people. The crazy thing is they totally ignore that the whale did show a realistic it felt like I was a fly on the wall of a realistic, like a real person. Like it showed a realistic lifestyle of somebody who is in the depths of trauma related of a trauma induced beating recorder, and his was fringe beating, you know. He and they even showed one of his episodes where he went and fringed a shit ton, dude, and I was like, you know what, it felt familiar as somebody who was a fringe beater in my past. It felt familiar. Maybe I wasn't to what he was doing, like his was pretty intense. But just the anxiety, it felt like I felt a kinship to the acting and like to the story in general. Just the food thing. Food was running this guy's life, and a lot of the fat acceptance community, they just completely ignore that, like that is a thing that happens to people who are morbidly obese. Food runs their life, and they just ignore them because I think they put pandysrexia up on this pedestal, which is why we're finding a lot of people in the fat acceptance community claim that they have atypical, and it's like, do you though? I don't think so. Whatever. I still don't get the link between morality and being fat. Kudos, however, for knowing getting winded is a consequence of their body type. What they're considering looking like. I wonder what they're considering looking like corpses, though. Okay, hilariously, fat phobia is probably my biggest obstacle to like trying to live a healthier life. Like, why would I exercise if all I'm going to feel afterwards is shame because I'm sore and winded I'm more sore and then winded than a thin person and would be and get caught up in how this is apparently morally wrong for some stupid reason instead of just a consequence of my body type. I'm finding a lot of the people in the fat acceptance community are, especially on Reddit, like they claim that people in the anti-fat acceptance community believe that obesity is a moral failing. I don't believe that because again, well, first of all, I'm still obese. Second of all, I was obeser, and I don't believe I've never thought that. I've never thought that obesity is a moral failing. I just don't see that. I don't see what morality has to do with your body size. You can't look at somebody and be like, "Oh, they're a bad person because they're fat." Like they're probably not, right? The only time that I can look at somebody in an obese body and I will judge and probably think that they're not the best person is if they have kids. And that's because you're cutting your life short and these kids need you. And it's especially you can tell if somebody's obese because of like I don't want to say selfish. I mean, technically it is. When you have kids, you have to be selfless. You've got to be there for your kids. And that's why I think motherhood is such like is almost untouchable. Like I don't want to talk about bad about moms or anything because I get that it's a difficult thing, but also a beautiful thing to be a mother. But if you're a mom and you're 600 pounds and you can't even like play with your kid or really, really show up and really, really share your love and your heart for that child, and I think often about that video where that kid is like making hot dogs for his mom and doing the laundry, and he's like 6 years old.
Without him, I'd be lost. Because I just can't do it on my own.
You're a bad person. That's bad. Like, get some help. You know, I mean, if somebody can get help for gambling and somebody can get help for alcoholism, there is something that you can do, and you can find help for your food addiction and your fringe beating recorder. I'm not sure if it's free. There should be some programs out there to help people with their fringe beating or whatever. However, I mean, the internet is free. You just have to really want it, and you have to have a good reason why. And I don't see how being a mother, how I don't see if you're a mother, how looking at your kids is not a good reason for you to not continue to live the way that you're living in a super morbidly obese body and continue to eat hot dogs out of the bag. Even still, I don't see that very large woman on the couch and go, she's bad. I look at her actions. She's eaten herself to the point where her child can no longer be a child. That's bad. Yes, I understand depression and shit, but you're not allowed to let your issues affect children. I draw the line there. Okay? I don't know. That's where I'm like, ooh, bad. But other than that, I don't think or see morality with your body type. It's weird to me. Fatness runs in my family. No, it doesn't. But nobody wants to admit it. My dad went on a keto and looks like a corpse now. Okay, so your dad went on keto and lost a ton of weight, and now he's probably a lot healthier than he was before because morbid obesity is a death sentence. He actually looks less sickly after gaining a lot of the weight back. That sucks though. My sister, I wonder if she thinks he looks sickly I mean, having a lot of fat on your body does fill in some wrinkles and dimples and like your under eye or whatever. I can see maybe if you've only seen your dad as fat and then he's older as well. So let's say, for example, her dad's probably like 65 and he loses a ton of weight. I can see that being like a stark, like, whoa, you look like a corpse, because not only does he have a lot of loose skin, he's got older loose skin and he's old. So you can be like, whoa, you look way different. My sister got gastric bypass and now looks like a corpse. I want to know what they think is a corpse. This is a corpse. Neither of them got rid of their round bellies even after it all. My brothers both work healthily physical jobs. Oldest is military, youngest is warehouse, and while my kid brother eats like shit, which he admits and I do too, honestly, glass houses, etc., etc., my oldest brother's wife is a massive health nut. They both also have that round belly. It's almost as if we just look like that. I can understand. So genetics will determine how your body stores fat. Belly fat is difficult to get rid of. Um, my guess is that that's just how their body stores fat. Like some people just they can have a skinny face, skinny legs, skinny arms, and have a huge belly, and then that just be like the last thing to go. For me and my family, we store our fat mostly on our legs. Like we all have huge legs. I have huge legs and our arms. Like my arms are very, very big. I don't know if I mean, my dad has a pot belly, but he also, I mean, like he's a dad and drank a lot in the military. But I mean, he drinks beer now still. Um, but I never really got like I have a belly, but I never got like a big belly. Like I never got I think that's what's most concerning too is I've always wondered like is this belly is this visceral fat? Like I've always wondered if my belly was always just like visceral fat because it was never really like hanging over and it wasn't like super floppy. Yeah, it sounds like I just diagnosed myself. I don't know. Bodies will store fat specifically based off of genetics. So I do believe that. That said, I just don't think that it's ever okay. I don't think it's okay to be in an obese body. If your family happens to store fat around their belly, maybe consider changing what you guys are eating. I'm sure they're all eating like shit still. Oh, I don't know. She said that her dad ate keto and then still had a belly. Is it inflammation or is it really just the way that they're, how their genes are? I don't know. The food scale is fine as long as you're occasionally using it to overeat. Using a scale to decide how much you can eat is ridiculous and obsessive, assuming you are not a bodybuilder. A scale doesn't teach you portion control. Absolutely, it does. Oh my gosh, you guys. When I'm in maintenance, so I use a gram scale to, you can use a gram scale to learn what certain portions look like. So like I understand, like for the longest time I used a gram scale, and then when I was like in maintenance and I was kind of getting lazy and I was like I don't need this anymore, um I never gained any weight because I remember like the size of what, how many veg I can have, how much of this protein I can have. Like you can use it, photographic memory, what it might not be accurate, but it'll help you prevent. I mean, it's a good way to get into maintenance, I guess. But some people do need to use the scale for life. They don't have that ability to just remember what 100 grams of broccoli looks like or whatever. You know what I mean? Your body teaches you portion control. You are just not listening. No, my body wants me to eat an entire loaf of bread like I am a street rat, like I am a boy in the Middle East on a magic carpet with my monkey, Aladdin. Do you guys use a food scale? I love our food scale. We actually just got a new one and it's super accurate, and it's got a metal plate instead of like just being like all one glass thing, which I don't know why. It just seems so like fancy to me. I am back to using the food scale for now just because I am locking in and I'm having a pretty good time. I do find it's easier for me to plug in my food the day before. I think Matcha does that too. Matcha, shout out to you. You gave me the idea. I think it's you. Do you plug in your food before? Anyway, I plug in my food the night before, and then as I'm weighing my food, I can just adjust the numbers if need be. This makes it so I was having a hard time plugging it into my food my weight loss app. I was having a I hate extra steps. So it felt like forever just for me to cook a meal. But now that I plug it in the night before, all I have to do is just weigh the food and fix the numbers, and then we're done, right? For example, what am I having for lunch today? Today I'm having like I put in like 2 ounces of chicken and a bunch of cabbage and all my sauces and my fat sources and seaweed. What else? Cabbage. Did I say cabbage already? And then so when I cook it this afternoon at lunchtime, all I'll have to do is just adjust the number next to all of those foods. So I just guessed how much it was to keep my calories in check. I am counting my calories right now, you guys. I know it's a shock, but I am still paying attention to carbs and my macro percentages. But anyway, I will adjust the number next to the food and keep it, and it just makes it so much easier and less time consuming. Whereas like before, what I was doing was like not having anything on my app, finding the stuff in my pantry and then going to my app and then like typing it in and finding the next ingredient and then going to my app. But just see how many steps there are. You know what I mean? And weighing it and then going to my app. Whereas like it's already in my app. I have an idea of how much I want to put in my meal. And then all I have to do is just adjust it. There. I hope that makes sense. Should I redo it? I'm not going to redo it. Okay. That advice works best for people who already have a fairly stable relationship with food. This is how I healed from 13 years of bully mania and fringe beating. I haven't met anyone, and I've coached hundreds of people who fringed worse than me. In fact, people who don't have a stable relationship with food are the last people who should be measuring their food. Again, I don't think that measuring your food, I really don't think that measuring your food, especially in 2026 when 75% of the country is fat, I don't think measuring your food is a terrible thing. Unless you, I mean, I would say unless you are in the depths of a terrible restrictive beating recorder. I can understand. Let's not weigh your food, baby. Let's get you some nutrients, right? But we don't even know what the right amount of food. If you go onto the street anywhere and just ask them, like, do you know how much you should be eating in a day? Do you measure your food? And if they're obese, the answer is probably gonna be like, no, I don't. And then on my head, I'm gonna be like, that's why you're fat. People don't know how much we're supposed to eat. They don't. And they're going to, and we should probably normalize, let's normalize using a food scale to determine how much we should eat, because the obesity epidemic, it is an epidemic. It's a problem. It's a problem. If the food scale if the food scale prevents you from having to go onto a very, very expensive medication to save your life, why wouldn't you use it? Food scale is like $15. Why wouldn't you use it? I don't know. Again, these are all excuses. It's fat logic, first of all, but these are all excuses to just stay fat. Twitter nonsense. People with skinny moms scare me. It just doesn't feel right. You know that the world is not TV land, I agree, because moms are supposed to be fluffy and warm and full of love, and I think a skinny mom doesn't give that energy. That is so sad, dude. That's sad. The people that I know who are parents or mothers, the ones who are in leaner bodies, they play with their kids. They have so much fun with their kids. They do all this stuff with their kids. They're outside with their kids, yada, yada, yada. And the ones who are fat are on their phones all the time. And I know I said I was going to keep moms off limits, but I'm just saying the ones who are in leaner bodies are playing with their kids more, and they're with their kids more often than the ones who are obese. The ones who are obese are on their phones all the time. They're on the couch all the time, and they're exhausted from sitting, I guess. And that's how you know something is evil. And that's how you know something evil is in that family. So now they're demonizing the thin person, whereas like they used to be like, don't put fat people in villain arcs. Don't put fat people in villain casting, like Ursula. But now you think that being thin is evil. As somebody with a skinny mom, I was always jealous of people with fat moms because they're nicer. Generalization. Again, the skinny moms that I know are like the nicest moms because they're always with their kids. The ones who are not are fat and miserable. And it's probably because they are on their phones all the time and they're seeing what could be. As someone with a skinny mom, oh, I already read that one. Okay, skinny moms be having beating recorders and be hungry, so they always hangry and mean AF. Go to your job. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. Get off the internet. Women above certain age should be pleasantly plump, I feel. I don't believe that. I think that makes for a miserable mom, because when you are obese, it can cause hormonal changes and that can cause mood swings. And yeah, speaking of mood swings as well, I've never seen a mood swing like, well, people are good at hiding mood swings, but when I was fatter, I've noticed now I'm off of my Wellbutrin. I don't get mood swings. When I was super duper fat, mood swings galore. When I have like a cheat day, or like when I'm in a Hashimoto's flare, or like some kind of a hormonal fluctuation, mood swings, mood swings, mood swings. TikTok logic. Okay, I hate when people try to say skinny shaming is worse than fat shaming. Skinny is the new norm, so therefore you already in the norm if you're skinny. If skinny is the norm, then why is 75% of the country fat? Do they think that class A or class 1 obesity is skinny? That's stupid. Skinny shaming is worse than fat shaming. Skinny is the new norm. No, literally, obesity is the new norm. So many people are fat now. Like, we're all fat. We're all fat. The day that I get down to overweight, it's over for everybody. All right, I'm going to do one more a little further down. Okay, classic fat logic posted by a well-respected content creator slash science communicator with a bonus fat logic in the comments. Okay. I am under no illusion that I've ever really been in control of the weight of my body. Do you know how many excuses, or sorry, how many excuses, how many excess calories per day it would lead to 50 pounds of weight gain over 25 years? Like 20 excess calories per day. Eating fewer than 20 excess calories per day for the last 25 years, entirely unintentional. I just ate what my body told me to eat, and I only gained 30 pounds over 25 years instead of 50. I have no idea how. I feel like this is like really bad math, though. I'm under no illusion. Do you know how many excess calories per day would lead to 50 pounds? I just feel like that's not how the body works. Like, we're not calculators. So, like, you can't expect to gain 50 pounds if you eat in excess of 20 calories. Cause, like, there might be days where you're running your ass off. There might be days where maybe you forget to eat a meal. Do you know what I mean? Eating fewer than 20 excess calories per day for the last 25 years was entirely unintentional. I just ate what my body told me. You're telling me you measured every day and ensured that you ate less than 20 excess calories per day for 25 years and you still gained 30 pounds. I'm so confused. Eating fewer than 20 excess calories. Okay. All right, please recognize that you are inherently an authority on information because of who you are. Please reach out to someone like Evelyn Tribole or Elise Reich, pioneers in the evidence-based and research-backed intuitive eating model. Weight is a biopsychosocial phenomenon. It is incredibly complex. It is not the calories you consume. Okay, I agree. I was a little shook. I was like, you can't just like count the years, and it doesn't work like that. Like, I just don't think that the body puts on weight like that. Because days change. It is medication, genetics, hormones, false sense of safety, your gut microbiome history. Okay, I would say that a lot of these do play a part in the way that you reach for food and maybe the way that you store food or store energy. But again, it is the food that you choose to eat, and it's also how often you eat and how much. Because calories don't count. Whoa, I used to be one of those people who used to think that calories don't count, but like, I mean, I'm on the board of calories. I'm on the board that we're not bomb calorimeters. Like, we're not robots. We're not like, everybody's different. There's no if anything, I think that your TDEE and your calorie limit it could be even like a range, like give or take 3 to 500 to lose or gain weight, right? That's just me. And again, to me, it depends on what type of energy sources you're using and how often you're eating, and if you're allowing your insulin levels to like get back down to baseline and all that jazz. I used to be one of those people who didn't think that calories count, but it does. And the reason why it does count in my head is because it is a way of measuring how much you're eating. Like, for example, this cup represents 1,500 calories. I can only eat whatever is in this cup for the day. It's like a way of measuring it. Whereas this bottle of cleaner is 1,300 calories. So I can only eat whatever fits in this bottle of cleaner. Like, I don't know if that's making any sense. It's just a way to add a number to measure your food. You can do that with color coding. Like, we could say that like like chips were purple and steak is red and a banana is green, and you can only have 4 red things a day, and you can only have 6 purple things a day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but it's a way to measure your food. So calories do count, and you can count calories and reduce calories, because in reducing them, you are reducing how much you are intaking. Okay, so they do count. The scientists who published the calorie concept recanted it a few weeks after publication, saying that the human physiology was too complicated for calories to explain weight fluctuations. But by then, the press had already run it, and they would never let it go. Eat more fiber, cut out empty calories, you'll lose the extra pounds fast. So they just said calories don't count, then they said cut out empty calories. Okay, but I would agree, our bodies are more complicated than just like a number. Some people may be able to just reduce this number and lose weight. But again, I am a firm believer it's so much easier to, yes, pay attention to the calories, but also pay attention to the energy sources and your macros, and are you eating enough protein? Is the protein that you're eating keeping you full? Are you are you eating empty calories? Like, there's no reason if you're on a weight loss journey for you to be having candy every day at least. Like, have some on the weekend, right? But if you are locked in and you've got a goal and you're upset that you can't lose any weight, it's because you're not eating the right foods. You can count calories and eat I mean, there's that guy who did the whole Twinkie thing, which that's a little bit, I'm not 100 on his methods. You can reduce your schmalaries and eat Twinkies, but I mean, that's going to damage your body. But it would be easier for you to pay attention to calories, but most importantly, pay attention to your macros. That's going to help you stay full. That's going to help you reduce cravings for shitty food, right? If you're eating adequate amounts of protein and fat, you're not going to be reaching for candy. I I just don't, right? I don't. I know I'm a different person, right? But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What are you guys eating to help you prevent yourself from eating like shit? To be in complete control over your body weight takes a dedication that many of us simply aren't capable of. I would never post this. That gives people the, like, that's enabling people. You're enabling people to be less than and be like, um you're enabling people to be obese. Someone's going to read that and be like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm not capable of doing that. So I'm just going to stay fat and let me go ahead and order my Domino's pizza. I see all these fitness experts online, including the ones commenting on this page. The thing is, you are paid to be dedicated. That is your passion, your job. For the rest of us, avoiding a huge beer gut is considered a fantastic achievement. I would agree. Okay, I actually would agree there. So, like, my main focus when I started my weight loss journey was to not be diabetic. And it took a long time, right? It took a long time for me to reverse pre-diabetes and then reverse insulin resistance. But here's the thing, I reversed pre-diabetes and I maintained my weight loss. I did that with weight loss on a ketogenic diet, so low carb, high fat. I did that and I maintained that for 2 years. And then when I started my YouTube channel and I started my weight loss journey again, I was able to reverse my insulin resistance in like 6 months just from locking in and focusing on my food intake and making sure that my insulin levels would like level out and all that jazz. So it's not, that's not, I mean, that's not an, that's 6 months isn't a dedication. I don't know. I wasn't being paid to I wasn't being paid to become no longer insulin resistant. I wanted to live longer and I don't want diabetes. And that was my reason why. And I think that's partially why I'm kind of in like a stall now. Like, I keep bouncing back and forth between like the same 5 pounds. But I think it does have to do with the fact that I hit a goal and I have no goal, but I have a goal now. We're back to locking back in, so I'm pretty confident. But this person is making it seem like weight loss is just this thing that only privileged people can do, or only people who are getting paid to lose weight can do, or only people who can afford to lose weight can do. And it's like, weight loss is free. You just have to want to be here. Like, you have to, I think that there's too much stuff on the internet where people are like, being fat is totally fine and healthy and doesn't cause, premature death. But in reality it does. And not enough people are scared. Not enough people are scared to the point where they want to lose weight. They have no why. There's no reason for them to lose weight. And this is enabling them to continue to not lose weight. So, me hate that. I kind of wish that I knew who this was. Let's see. In the comments. So calories are a social concept now. Oh, I hate when fat acceptance brings in words like biopsychosocial phenomenon and access to food and dieting and community. I expect that they try to use intellectual analysis even when said analysis has no foundation to deflect from the fact that while sure there is some nuance around the wider topic of health, social determinants of health, weight is mostly entirely controlled by food intake. Period. Period. But yes, they are absolutely right. The fat acceptance community often brings in, we've seen a lot of them bring in like therapy speak and then intellectual analysis. So they'll bring in like fancy schmancy words. It's kind of like the people who write essays and they just add more and more and more and more words so that you don't read the entire thing, but you're like, this person's smart. They wrote a 6-page essay. I used to do that in high school. I'm not that smart. I'm not a scientist. But yes, they do bring in a lot of like fancy words and therapy talk to make their to deflect. They don't want to be held accountable for their weight gain, and but they also don't want to be they don't want they just don't want to lose the weight. They really don't. The fat acceptance community is holding on so much to anything that will help them remain fat, and they get on the internet and they spit stupid stuff like this, and I'm over it. Anyway, you guys, that's all I have for today's episode. Hopefully it wasn't super duper rambly. I feel like it was. I mean, I filmed for an hour and a half, which I was not expecting. But what do you guys think? What was your favorite Fat Logic take? Again, I feel like the topic, that ties everything together is it all boils down to food. It really does. What you're eating and how often you're eating. But most importantly, it is what you're eating. If you're eating ultra processed food, or you're going out to eat and eating fast food more often than not, I guarantee you're probably obese. You got to change it, man. You got to change it. The obesity epidemic is no freaking joke. It is not a joke. Like, we have a problem on our hands. But that is it. So you guys, let me know in the comments below what your favorite was. Let's start a discussion. Let's turn this into a little forum, our own little Fat Logic forum below. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend, because it is Friday. But I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you made it all the way to the end, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. If it's giving you the option to hype it, go ahead and hype it. And if you made it to this very point, please leave an alien in the comments below for the little Reddit alien. Is it an alien? I think it is. But yeah, leave an alien in the comments below to let me know that you made it all the way to the end. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and thank you again for being here. Goodbye.
Do you remember when we met? Last day I knew you were my pet. I wanna tell you that I love